The biggest thing standing between you and the life you want is not the lack of talent, money, or even opportunity. It's the invisible habit of holding yourself back. Every day, people with incredible ideas, the skills, and the dreams, they choose comfort over growth because they're afraid of failing and being judged or discovering how difficult success actually is. And the problem is, the potential means nothing if you never give it a chance to become reality. Potential is not something you are rewarded for having. It is something you are responsible for developing. And the difference between people who achieve great things and people who stay stuck is often it's not intelligence or luck. It's the willingness to take the action before they feel completely ready. Most people they wait for that confidence before they start, but confidence it usually comes after action, not before it. You build that belief in yourself by proving to yourself that you can handle this challenge, learn new skills, and keep moving forward even when things are feeling uncomfortable, which is really tough. Holding back your potential often starts with the stories you tell yourself. You might convince yourself that you are too late, not experienced enough, not talented enough, or that other people have advantages you will never have. And these thoughts, they feel real, but many of them are simply fears disguised as facts. And the human brain naturally tries to protect you from the risk. And sometimes that protection becomes a cage and it encourages you to stay where things are familiar because familiar feels safe. But safe does not always mean successful, and growth requires stepping into situations where you have to adapt, improve, and become stronger. And if you constantly avoid challenges, you also avoid the opportunities that would reveal what you are truly capable of. And one of these biggest mistakes people make is underestimating how much they can improve over time. They look at someone successful and assume that person has always had confidence, skilled, or disciplined, and they rarely see the years of mistakes, the failures, the learning, the persistence behind the results. And everyone starts as a beginner. Every expert was once someone who struggled through the basics. And the difference is that successful people, they continued when things were difficult. They allowed themselves to be bad at something long enough to eventually become good at it. You cannot overlook your potential by only doing things you already know how to do. Your abilities expand when you challenge your limits. And another reason people hold themselves back is because they focus too much on what they could lose instead of what they could gain. Well, that's always something. They think about the embarrassment, the rejection, wasted time, or possible failure. And, but they rarely consider the cost of never trying. The cost of staying comfortable can be years of wondering what could have happened if you had taken the opportunity, started the project, or, learn the skill, or chase the goal. Or, regret often comes from the chances you avoid, not just the mistakes you made. It's failure is uncomfortable, but it's also information. It teaches you what needs to change and what needs to improve and what direction you should take next. And the people who reach the potential are not people who never fail. They're people who refuse to let failure become their identity. They see the mistakes as lessons instead of proof that they should quit. They to stop holding yourself back. You need to stop waiting for that perfect condition. There will never be a perfect time when everything lines up. Your schedule is empty, your confidence is unlimited, and your every risk disappears. Waiting for that moment is a trap. Progress comes from starting with what you have and improving along the way. Them small actions repeated consistently, they create results that seem impossible when you're only looking at the final goal. A person improves 1% every day. It can completely transform their ability over time. Your future is shaped by the habits you practice today. If you spend every day avoiding that discomfort, your comfort zone becomes smaller. If you spend every day taking small steps towards improvement, your confidence and your ability grow. Discipline is what allows your potential to become reality, and motivation comes and goes, but discipline keeps you moving when excitement disappears. It means doing the work when nobody's watching, and even when progress it starts to feel slow. It means keeping promises you make to yourself. Every time you follow through, you build trust with yourself. Every time you quit because something becomes difficult, you teach yourself that challenges should be avoided. And the goal is not to become, fearless. Fear is normal. The goal is to become someone who takes action despite the fear. You can feel nervous and still move forward. You can doubt yourself and still take the next step. And courage is not the absence of uncertainty, it's the decision that your goals are more important than your fears. And you also need to be careful about what about the people in the environment around you. Holy shit, that's important. The wrong environment can convince you to lower your expectations and accept a smaller version of yourself. Surrounding yourself with people who encourage growth, learning, and ambition can completely change what you believe is possible. You know, your environment influences your mindset, your habits, and your standards. And if you want different results, you often need to change the actions and influences that create your current results. Stop comparing your beginning to someone else's finished product. And comparison can destroy motivation because you only see the outside of another person's journey. Focus on becoming better than the person you were yesterday. Your competition is not everyone else. Your competition is the version of yourself that keeps making excuses and voiding that growth. The person you become is built through the choices you make repeatedly. You do not discover your potential by thinking about it. You discover it by testing it. Take the steps, learn the skill, start the project, have the conversation, try the opportunity. Give yourself permission to become someone greater than who you are right now. And the truth is, most people never find out what they are capable of because they stop before they even get started. Don't let fear, doubt, or comfort decide the size of your future. Your potential is not a promise that automatically comes true. It is a responsibility that requires effort, patience, and action. And the life you want is built by the decision you make when nobody's forcing you to make them. In coffee. So stop waiting for someone else to believe you. All right, because it's not happening. Start proving to yourself that you are capable. And the moment you stop holding back is the moment you begin discovering what you were truly meant to achieve. And remember one thing too. Your potential, it grows every time you choose effort over excuses, learning over comfort, and action over hesitation. The people you become tomorrow depend on who you are willing to do today, and especially during the moments when quitting feels easier than continuing towards the future you want. Thanks for watching today. If you found value in today's video, please subscribe. We're looking to build this channel. Without you, we can't do it. And we'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good day.